you hearing about Bill Belichick and this contract extension that happened during the offseason?
Yeah, Ian Rappaport reporting that it is a lucrative multi-year extension. So let's try and interrogate that. My understanding is lucrative. Of course it's lucrative. It's Bill Belichick. He makes a lot of dough. Multi-year, that simply can mean 2023 and 2024, for instance. So that extension would satisfy, in some ways, perhaps a timeline for Jerod Mayo. Jerod Mayo signed a 2-year extension as a linebackers coach at the end of last year. Robert Kraft was very open about talking about Jerod Mayo as perhaps one day a head coach, maybe even here. So I would be stunned. I would be amazed. I would be dumbstruck if Bill Belichick's lucrative extension ran past 2024. And I think that that's really what's interesting to me, and we're going to get to it, is the why of this report and what that means going forward into next year.
And Phil, we've been having a lot of hot seat talk when it comes to Bill Belichick this season. What's your reaction to this deal that supposedly happened during the offseason?
Yeah, I would say this, just to use a few of the words that Tom just laid on us there. I would be dumbstruck if this was something that people within the organization would believe that the Krafts would want out there. It's my understanding that 3 people know the details of Bill Belichick's contract. Bill Belichick, obviously, Robert Kraft, and Jonathan Kraft. I even asked if Neil Cornrich, I assumed Neil Cornrich was still Bill Belichick's agent. Turns out, more of an advisor than truly an agent, in that for a while now, Bill Belichick has been doing his own contract. So it's a very small circle. Why, oh, why would the Krafts want this information out there now? If this was something that Bill Belichick wanted out there, to me, it would be fascinating if this was a play for Bill Belichick to garner a little bit more buy-in. Buy-in is something we have talked about on this show and others, guys, for years now. And if this is a last resort to say to the rest of your team, front office, locker room, hey, I'm going to be here for a while, so let's all get on board with what we're trying to do, even though our record is what it is. That would be a fascinating play by Bill Belichick, if in fact that's what it was.
Excellent points, Phil. I would say on 2 points. Number one, that circle for Bill has gotten even smaller over the years. In 2007, there was a report about Bill's contract getting out. He was able to figure out how the reporter was Michael Smith at the time, how Michael Smith learned about it, and then he shut down that avenue. He is very sensitive about the contract. He's sensitive about money with regard to him. So Phil is absolutely right. Not many people know about the contract. And the other thing is, I think he was trying to send a message to the team. You're not going to get me out of here. This is not going to be a talking point every week. I listen to the media. If I'm not listening to the media, I have people monitoring what's on the radio, what's on NBC Sports Boston nationally, and I'm just going to shut this down. So I think it is a definitive message. But I'm with you, Tom. Look, when I heard lucrative, I said, okay, throw that word out of there. Throw that word out of there. It's Bill Belichick. Lucrative, multi-year. Once again, English teachers can tell you, okay, that's more than one. So it's not as if the Kraft said, hey, there are two kinds of extensions. One, you're doing a wonderful job. Hey, you know what? Here, let's tack on 2 or 3 more years. Let's keep this beautiful friendship together for longer. Or it's, hey, we got to do something, and this is a bridge to where we ultimately want to be.
And it's important to also realize the lure of the Sunday Splash report that Ian Rappaport at times cannot resist. And he is a good reporter, and he is plugged in with the Patriots in a way that I think is only rivaled by Adam Schefter as a national guy. But remember this, in 2020, when the Patriots were watching the Super Bowl and Tom Brady was about to be a free agent, Ian reported that the Patriots were willing to go to upwards of $30 million or more for an extension for him. That was a Sunday. That was the Super Bowl. That didn't happen. They didn't come close to that. 22.5 was the highest they went. Ezekiel Elliott was supposed to get starter reps a couple weeks ago. Look, sometimes we have national reporters who have the lure of a splashy story, and they might embellish it to a degree, I guess. So where do you go with this information? What does it mean to the future of the Patriots? Is Bill completely insulated, Amina?
Phil, if this is a true report, I mean, I take a look at the Patriots last season. They went 8-9. You had Matt Patricia, Joe Judge calling the offense. There was a lot going on with the Patriots organization. If you're Robert Kraft, why do you re-up Bill Belichick after what happened last season?
Well, one reason might be why you don't believe necessarily that your coach in waiting is quite ready. And so if Gerard Mayo is, in fact, going to be the next head coach of the New England Patriots, and Robert Kraft looks at him and says, I love this guy. I love everything he's about. I want him to be the next leader of my organization, but also looks at him and says he's still in his mid-30s. He's still relatively new to coaching. It'd be nice to get him another couple seasons of seasoning. Then that might be one reason. I would actually like to pose a question to Tom Curran about something that he said just a little bit earlier, Amina, and that is, would he have really gone into this season as a quote-unquote lame duck coach? Multi-year, to me, I initially took that as multiple years on top of this one, just assuming that he would have been under contract for this year, because it is, for someone of Bill Belichick's stature, it would be rare, I would think, for him to go into this season without a contract. Do you think that was possible in this case?
Yeah, it's a great point, Phil. You know, you don't want to have somebody as a lame duck head coach, even if nobody knows that he's a lame duck head coach, because it does create a level of uncertainty for the individual who's trying to run the team. So I could imagine that Bill would say, look, let's get this done so we have certainty going forward, and I'm not sitting here in November wondering whether or not I'll be here. So to me, I think that's an important observation to lend as well.
Now, Holley, would this deter Bill Belichick from getting fired based off of what we're seeing so far this season, with them being 1-5?
I don't think so, although I don't think he's going to get fired. And you know, why would you bring him, you asked earlier, why would you bring back Bill Belichick? Because he's still a top 10 coach in football. No matter how you feel about this season, the job that he's done, he's an excellent coach, and you want to keep him on board, and you hope, based on your experience with him, that he'll be able to turn things around. So, yeah, I mean, that's the number one reason to bring him back.
I think as well, this would not preclude the Krafts from making the difficult decision to move on from Bill Belichick after the season if his performance was not up to snuff. I truly believe that the Krafts, in the number of statements that Robert has made over the years, would be willing, if Bill Belichick's performance does not measure up, they would say, okay, we're going to go in a different direction. Would the contractual money left, if it's extended into 2024, dissuade them? I don't think it would, because at a point you get to, okay, it's costing us money to have the lack of hope for this team. So definitely, I think that it's interesting that it's there, but I don't think an extension through 24 means that he's definitely here in 24.
And I just want to say very quickly, you know, Bill is good. When I say he's defensive about his contract, even if he's giving that information to Ian Rappaport, he will tell you what he wants you to know. So it's still murky. It can still be a little murky. And like Rappaport may not know all the details about what that contract is, and Bill can position it that way intentionally.
I'm sure we'll be discussing this for weeks and weeks to come. All right, thanks so much.